Hello to all the brave and curious crew of the Deep Dive channel. I am the captain, and I'm here to take you on another journey together. A journey into the depths of a massive story that is unfolding right now, high above all of our heads. Right now, as you're watching this video, a silent, cold, and quiet war has begun, hundreds of thousands of kilometers up there. This war doesn't have cannons or tanks, but the fate of the next century of humanity is on the table in this very battle. It's a trillion-dollar race to seize resources that could change the balance of power on Earth forever. By the end of this video, you will know the complete map of this hidden war, and you will understand why the winner of this race becomes not just the wealthiest power in history, but in a way, the owner of the future of the human race. And this isn't a science fiction story, this is happening today. So fasten your seatbelts because we have a deep dive ahead of us. Do you remember the stories of the California gold rush? Thousands of people who abandoned their lives and traveled to the other side of the world, hoping to find a few pieces of yellow rock. Many people think that going to the moon and into space is just a scientific adventure, a human curiosity to discover the unknown. But the truth is, we are standing on the brink of the greatest gold rush in human history. This time, the gold rush isn't on land, it's in the sky. The common belief is that space is empty and worthless. But this belief is as wrong as the belief that the Earth is flat. A strange knowledge gap exists here. We all see the moon, but how many of us know what treasures are hidden beneath that gray dust? What is up there that has compelled the most powerful governments and wealthiest companies in the world to spend billions of dollars to reach it? Is it really just a few rocks and some dust? Or is the key to the survival and supremacy of our civilization gathering dust up there? This is the very question we are going to answer tonight. Let's begin our journey with our closest neighbor, the moon. For decades, the moon was a symbol of victory in the Cold War, a symbol of technological might. But today the moon is no longer just a symbol, it's a strategic resource. And the main reason for this change is a magical element called helium-3. You might have heard its name. Helium-3 is a rare isotope that is virtually non-existent on Earth, but thanks to billions of years of solar winds, the surface of the moon is rich with this substance. But why is it so important? Because helium-3 is the ideal fuel for nuclear fusion reactors. Nuclear fusion is that clean, limitless energy that scientists have been pursuing for decades. An energy with no radioactive waste, no carbon emissions. Simply put, helium-3 is the oil of the 21st century. Imagine a country that could single-handedly monopolize the mining and selling of this fuel. That country wouldn't just be an energy exporter, it would literally have its hand on the power switch for the entire planet Earth. It could decide which countries get energy and which ones are plunged into darkness. This power is greater than all the oil and gas reserves on Earth combined. And this is where the race begins. On one side, you have the United States with its Artemis program, planning to send humans back to the moon, but this time not to plant a flag, but to build a permanent base and begin resource extraction. On the other side, China, with its successful Chang'e missions, has brought back lunar soil samples and is seriously planning to build a joint base with Russia. This is a new, and much more serious, space race. This time, the prize isn't just prestige, the prize is control over the world's future energy. But this is just the beginning. The moon is only the first stop on our exploratory journey. The main prize, the greater treasures, are hidden in the deeper, darker parts of space, where the flying banks are waiting for us. By flying banks, I mean asteroids. These wandering rocks in space are essentially time capsules from the birth of the solar system, and they are rich in precious and rare metals. Metals like platinum, iridium, gold, and most importantly, the rare earth metals that are vital for building all of today's advanced technologies, from your smartphone to electric car batteries and solar panels. Let's look at the numbers for a moment. It's estimated that some of these asteroids are worth trillions of dollars on their own. Just one small asteroid 500 meters wide could contain as much platinum as the entire annual production of the metal here on Earth. NASA is currently sending a mission to an asteroid named Psyche, whose iron-nickel core alone is estimated to be worth 10,000 quadrillion dollars. That number is so large it's even hard to imagine. It's more than the entire global economy. Now you might be asking yourself, wait a minute, Captain, these asteroids are millions of kilometers away. What does this have to do with my daily life? This is where we need to build that bridge to our own lives. All the technology you're holding in your hand right now, the device you're watching this video on, all medical advancements, all communication infrastructures, all of it depends on these rare earth metals. The problem is that on Earth, these metals are rare. Their extraction is very costly and polluting, and their main mines are in the hands of only a few countries. This means our entire tech-based economy is built on a shaky foundation. Now imagine a country or a company gaining access to an infinite and virtually free source of these metals in space. That power doesn't just get rich, it can literally control the world's technological economy. It can set the prices. It can decide which countries have access to future technologies and which ones are left behind. This means a complete rewriting of the rules of the global economy. This is where the story transforms from a scientific adventure into a strategic necessity for the survival of world powers. But when we arrive in a new land full of wealth, what's the first thing that becomes important? The law. And this is where things get a bit scary and complicated. The realm of space is like a lawless Wild West. The only significant law we have is the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. This treaty, signed at the height of the Cold War, states that no nation can claim ownership of celestial bodies like the moon or asteroids. This means the US can't plant its flag on the moon and say, "This is mine." But this law has a big, clever loophole. The treaty says nations can't claim ownership, but it says nothing about private companies and resource extraction. This loophole has opened the gate for the space gold rush. Countries have realized they can't directly own the moon, but they can support private companies from their own country to go there, extract the resources, and bring them back to Earth. And this is exactly what is happening. The United States has initiated the Artemis Accords, a set of agreements that, in a way, define the rules of the game for space resource extraction in favor of itself and its allies. In opposition, China and Russia do not recognize these accords, and are forming a rival power bloc. This means we are writing two different sets of laws for a single territory. It's like being in the Wild West, where one group says this is our law, and another group says no, our law is completely different. When the laws are unclear and the wealth is infinite, history has taught us what happens: conflict. This conflict might not be with guns, but it's a strategic battle for control of key locations and space trade routes. And this brings us to the climax of our journey. To the answer I promised you at the beginning of the video. The silent war above our heads isn't a war over claiming an asteroid or planting a flag. Those are short-term goals. The real war is the war to build infrastructure. Just like centuries ago when naval powers fought to control important ports and trade routes, today's space powers are competing to build critical infrastructure in space. Whoever builds the first permanent base on the moon, whoever establishes the first orbital refueling station, whoever launches the first resource processing plant on an asteroid, that is the true winner of this race. Because they are no longer just a miner, they become the owner of the roads, ports, and gas stations of the space lanes. They get to determine who can travel to the depths of space, who can use the resources, and who must remain behind on Earth. The winner of this race not only gains control of resources worth more than all the wealth on Earth, but they also gain control of humanity's future as a spacefaring species. They will write the laws for the next chapter of human civilization. This power is beyond any empire that history has ever seen. It's a silent war because it happens in the silence of space, but its shockwaves will shape the future of all of us on this blue planet. We are standing at an incredibly important moment in history. Just like the Europeans who stared at the horizon of the Atlantic Ocean 500 years ago, not knowing what new world awaited them across the water. The decisions being made in this very decade will define the course of our civilization for centuries, and perhaps millennia, to come. The next time you look up at the clear night sky at the moon, remember that it's not just a beautiful glowing orb. It's the seventh continent. The first economic and strategic battlefront of the 21st century, and perhaps the key to all of our futures. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep, exploratory journey. You are the best crew in the world. We love you all. If you enjoyed this deep dive and your view of the night sky has changed forever, give us the energy to create our next journeys by liking this video. And by subscribing, you become a permanent member of the Deep Dive crew, so you won't miss any of our future adventures into the depths of the unknown. Until the next journey, farewell.